or organization skills. And here I do not have a PPT because if I go through PPT, it will take a long time. So what am I doing? I'll explain all these things in Microsoft Excel. With the help of Microsoft Excel, we'll open the new file and I'll increase the zoom percent so that you can see it properly. You can see it properly. Believe me, most of the things you have learned while you are while completing your learning in a book, there are so many things you will learn with the practicals, with the help of some expert teachers. And I'm sure you are blessed with some expert teachers as well. You blessed to have some expert teachers. You might have learned so many things, but in a corporate life, while completion of any job, or while doing any job or starting any business, the life is completely different. And this is not only for life, this is, I mean to say, this is not only for job or a business, it's for your life, day-to-day life as well. There are certain skills which are essential, which are required, which are vital, and without those skills will not be able to survive, will not be able to earn day-to-day bread and butter, and will not be a breadwinner in the future if you do not possess this kind of skills. So which are the required skills in any organization, in any structure, in any corporate life, in a business? Most of the people have the same kind of expectations from you, and these skills are called as organizational skills, or organization of the skills. We can talk about that as well. So first thing and the foremost important thing everywhere, which is expected from all of us, that's a time management. Time management. Let me tell you how does it make difference and what is this essential. I think you might have a session for this, but let me just give you a brief idea what is time management is all about. Since our childhood, we used to learn that. I was a child and I was a student of Marathi medium in Maharashtra. And in our schools, there were so many, I mean to say, in our school, there were so many walls. And on the walls, there were certain good thoughts were written. And there was one thought I used to be wondered, what is this all about? And as a child, I didn't understand that. But in real life, I have inculcated that in my life. And I found that that is really beneficial for me. There was one sentence in Marathi. I'll translate in English and Hindi as well so that everyone can understand. Surya itka vaktashirpana ana. It means you be punctual like the god sun. As a child, I was confused. What is this all about? Vaktashirpana, it means punctuality. It was quite hard. It was quite harsh to understand. But later on, we understand that was the correct one. It has been said that time is like a flow of water. Once it goes, it doesn't come back. It doesn't come back. Therefore, it has been said that you have to respect the time, then time will respect you. Time changes the value of everything. Let us take an example. You buy a newspaper in the morning and the cost of that newspaper varies from 5 rupees to 10 rupees. Different newspaper, different prices. But minimum price of that newspaper, it is of 1 rupee. I mean to say 5 rupee, and maximum it may be 15, 20, whatever it may be. And you try to sell that newspaper in the evening, the newspaper will have huge deflation and people will not buy even for a single rupee, because the news are old and everybody is aware of those news. They might have heard it, they might have seen it, they might have read it on internet, or somebody has seen that news on a what do you say, media as well. So in this case, the newspaper which was costing me rupees 10 in the morning, within 10 to 12 hours, the cost of that newspaper becomes almost a zero, useless. The value of newspaper, it wasn't same for the entire day, but at the beginning it was of 10 rupees, and in the evening the value was decreasing. Few years before, when we were known as a colony of Britishers, British governors used to wear certain uniforms. Those were the special uniforms designed for them. And nowadays, those uniforms can be used by a banjo party in India. You might have read it so many times in a university of WhatsApp. WhatsApp University gives us entertainment as well. It gives some information, but the accuracy is less. But it has given some information as well. So the uniforms which were used by these people, the British, the governors, the same uniform is being used by nowadays with the banjo party people. It doesn't mean that banjo party doesn't have value. Those are the most important people in marriage functions. But the same time, the uniforms were differently made for these people. Few years before, 100 years before, that was a different scenario. Next example, when WhatsApp came in India, 5 to 6 years before, in a chat group, your presence was there at the bottom of the names of the people. Now you open your WhatsApp group and you find that your presence is at the beginning. Few years before, you were at the bottom of the number of people, and now you are at the top of the list of that name of the people. It has changed everything. You take any investment in stock market in the morning, in the evening you may be rodpati or crorepati. Might be possible that you may lose the money or you may gain the profit as well. So stock is same, everything is same, but time reschedules, time changes the value of that thing. Time changes the value of people in our life. Time changes the value of pains as well. Time changes the value of troubles, struggle, and everything. It gets changed by time. Therefore, it has been said that you respect the time and time will respect you. The first thing to be a successful, that you should respect the time. I proudly say that since my childhood, I follow the time management. It might be quite natural or might have been transferred from my parents to me, but we follow the time management. You might have noticed that I came back after the break exactly at 3:10 and we started on time. So when I share the example, I have to be careful that I'm also punctual. Otherwise, I don't have any right to speak about time management. Time changes the value of everything. Let me give you an example which can be understood by youngsters in a simple way. Do you love Bollywood movies? If you say yes, please type Y in a chat box. Bollywood is one of the entertainment industry in India. Do you love Bollywood movies? If you say yes, please type Y in a chat box. Bollywood movies, I'm talking about Bollywood movies. Look at this, most of the people they have been responding. There was one movie few years before it appeared in Indian cinema industry, and the name of that movie was Dabang. Have you seen that movie? Dabang, the first part. The strongest lady Sonakshi Sinha and Bhaijan Salman Khan was the characters in that. Now they used to sing a song, and the songs of Dabang one were popular, I guess, among youngsters. Many youngsters used to sing that song, and one of the songs was "Tere Mast Mast Do Nain Dil Ka Le Gaye Chain." That was one of the popular songs in India. Now Dabang one has achieved huge success. Now they moved to Dabang 2. In Dabang 2, this star cast was shown as a married couple. And in the next movie, they sing Daga Bazare Tere Naina Bade Daga Bazare. In the first part, they were unmarried and they were singing Mast Mast Do Nayan Dil Ka Lege Chain. In the second part, they were singing Daga Bazare Tere Naina Bade Daga Bazare. I have seen the third part as well. They have some song Habibi Ke Nayan. I don't recollect the exact line of that song, stanza of that song. It's quite tough one, but I still remember the first part had the bung one that had a different song, and second part that had a different song. Here, I'm not saying that marriages can change you. I'm not here. I'm not talking about that. But this is one of the simplest example to understand that time changes the value of everything. They are the same people which were there in the previous part of the bung one. They are the same people in the second part. Only the thing is that time had changed the situation. They were unmarried in the initial phase. Now they become married. So time changes the value of each and everything in the life. Therefore, you ensure that the first essential skill to have you with you in your day-to-day life, not only in day-to-day life, but in your official job, in your business, everywhere, always ensure that you respect the time. And for time management, there are so many things here. I recommend you to follow Google Calendar, which will give you reminders. Google Calendar is the best tool of modern era, which gives you reminder in your cell phone, in your emails, and believe me, it gives you real-time traffic updates as well. For example, if I have to be physically present at your university for training sessions, I live in Pune at present, and from Pune, I should have been traveling at your location. Then I should know what is the travel distance, what time does it take. My Google Calendar will remind me that you have to be there, and according to the traffic situation, it will take 5 hours, 6 hours to reach there. So according to that, I can plan. If that is within Pune, I can plan and I can do everything. Google Calendar helps me with everything. Believe me, Google Calendar is one of the ways it can help me to know more about full moon, new moon, everything about panchang also. That is not important in your process of business, in your process of job, but it is important for most of the people. It can help me to know when there is a cricket match of IPL, when there is a Premier League of hockey, football. There are so many leagues in India. It can help me for that as well. I've sent them email to add a Kabaddi League in their Google Calendar as well. Apart from this, it helps you to plan most of the things. I follow this, and apart from that, there is one concept called as Excel diary. Many people they follow physical diaries, and unfortunately, to make a physical diary, they have to chop a tree or a branch of a tree, indirectly we are what do you say, we are making some losses to the nature. But if you use this Google Calendar and Excel diary, we are contributing for the nature as well, and we are managing our time as well. It will give us reminder of everything. I follow time management and I ensure that Google Calendar is there with me. Let me show my Google Calendar so that it will help you. Uh, it will help us to understand. Let me open this Google Calendar. Here, I'll not teach you how to operate this, but this is just an example of Google Calendar. Give me a moment. Look at this. This Google Calendar shows that I have certain training sessions which have been planned in March, and there are certain assignments for my daughter's school that has to be completed, and it shows me my festivals of India as well. It shows me everything according to my settings. And today it's second. It says that at 2 o'clock I have a session of career skills with you. In the morning I had a session of MS Excel for Yashoda in Pune. There are various sessions. Rameti is one of the institutes which you might be aware, because that is related to your industry. So Rameti, I have a training session. We'll have a training session tomorrow. These are the plans, and this will help me to understand most of the things. It helps me to say no to other people in politeness. There are so many ways of time management, and one of this is saying no, because most of the youngsters, they don't know how to say no. And if they say no, people get dejected, people get offended, and people have wrong relationships then. So it is quite important to say no in time management as well. We are not here to learn time management, but I recommend you to have the first thing to be a successful. You should be a great time manager. Sometimes it happens that there is a huge amount of work pending, but time is limited. Sometimes there is a huge time but you don't have something to be done. That is called as a boredom. And when you have huge work, that is called as what do you say, stress as well. So if you manage your time properly, you have a spare time available. You can spend time with your family members, and you can have work-life balance as well. The first thing is very important, that is the time management. Respect the time, time will respect you. All these successful people in the history, they focused on time management. I have heard or I have read some stories about Napoleon Bonaparte. Napoleon is one of the what do you say, successful in the history of war and winning victories. And he was there on one mission, and he said that let us complete this mission as early as possible, because he was always there with the time management. But his what do you say, his disciples were tired, and they had to attack one nation, they had to attack one country, and that country was extremely small. So these disciples said that this country is small, why to waste our time, let us postpone this. Rather than doing it tonight, we'll do it tomorrow. And this country, it has been saved because of the procrastination done by this army. And that small country has received the help from some other country, and Napoleon Bonaparte has tasted the failure in his life only because of procrastination. So time management is all about the doing it right now. If it is important and urgent, do it right now. That is an important and urgent as well. Ignore the spelling mistake if I make any. Important and urgent, do it right now. When Jaikant Shikre in the movie Singham, it says that abhi ke abhi. Similarly, if someone is something is extremely urgent and important, do it right now. Do not postpone it for tomorrow. If something is not at all urgent and important, delete it from your life. Delete it. For example, if I get the emails and it says that could you please share the feedback about Big Boss. To be frank, I don't like Big Boss, but there are some people they like Big Boss. But if I don't like Big Boss, then I may simply delete that email, because that is unimportant for me, and that is not urgent for me. That is unimportant for me, and that is not urgent for me. So there are maximum times in India that people waste most of the time because of these unnecessary things which are not necessary, not urgent, not important. So you have to be careful that you do not waste your time behind this. Now there is one more thing: delegation of the work. Delegate. Believe me, you can't do everything. You can't be present everywhere in the every scenario. So what can be done? You can delegate that work. This work completion is important, but it is not that much urgent. Can be managed by anyone else. Here I would like to recommend all the youngsters. I have seen specific in Maharashtra, not only in the metro cities like Pune, Mumbai, Nasik, but everywhere. We have a habit. I'm not cursing, I'm not saying that that's negative, but somehow I have noticed that this time can be invested somewhere else as well. I always say that in the previous PPT, I told you that investment in knowledge pays the highest rate of interest. Unfortunately, most of the people in IT industry in Pune, they spend Saturday and Sunday washing their clothes, washing their homes, washing their vehicles. Unfortunately, this time can be invested for gaining some skills, learning something new, but they use this time to invest for household chaos. I'm not saying that you don't do it, but instead of that, if you can delegate it and you be ready to pay 10%, 15% more for that, it's okay. But if you delegate that, this work can be done by someone else, and you can complete that time, you can invest that time in learning something new. And if you learn something new, believe me, the cost of this delegation can be borne by you in a profit. So ensure that delegate the work, but be careful. Personal responsibilities should not be delegated. Personal responsibilities should be on your shoulder. इन हिंदी एक कहावत है, दूसरों के कंधे पे सिर्फ अर्थियां जाती हैं, जनाजे जाता है, हिंदी में कहावत है। तो अपनी पर्सनल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी जिसकी वजह से कुछ इकोनॉमिकल लॉस हो सकता है, it may lead you towards the economical loss. Do not delegate such kind of responsibilities on the shoulder of other people. दूसरा example, when there is an relationship, when there may be a relationship crisis, do not delegate your responsibilities to other as well. That might be troublesome. मैंने यंगस्टर्स को कुछ देखा है, किसी किसी को प्रपोज करने के लिए या किसी को मनाने के लिए वो तीसरे बंदे को भेजता है, और वो तीसरा बंदा और प्रॉब्लम्स क्रिएट कर देता है. आई एम श्योर यू मस्ट बी लाफिंग नाउ. दिस काइंड ऑफ डेलीगेशन कैन बी ट्रबलसम, बिकॉज यहाँ पे हमेशा याद रखिए, डेलीगेशन तभी करो जहां पर्सनल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी या पर्सनल लॉस ना हो या इकोनॉमिकल लॉस ना हो. But if you delegate all personal responsibilities, then you will be in under scanner of trouble. So be careful. So delegate the work. And last one is delay. It's important to pay the bill of electricity. It is important to pay the telephone bill. It is important to pay some bill of Wi-Fi or other things. But it has a due date of 15-20 days. So it is important but not urgent now. So what can be done? I can delay it, but ensure that when I delay it, I have to mention it somewhere. Otherwise, I'll be forgetting that as well. And I may miss the due date and I may have to suffer the penalty. So these 4 Ds of time management are essential part of management in your day-to-day life. Do it right now. Delete it, not necessary, not important, forget it. You do not waste your time. Delegate it, you ask someone else to do it on behalf of you. That's a delegation of the work. And apart from this, delay it. The best example, you might have seen that Narendra Modi sir has sent some ministers in the countries which are adjacent to Ukraine, and to have the evacuation of the Indian students. They have been sent. That is called as a delegation of the work. Delay it means you may postpone it, but ensure that when you postpone, you write it somewhere in your Google Calendar or Excel diary or your mobile reminder, whatever it may be, because you should not miss your deadline. So first part we haven't seen in details, but I want you to focus that the first thing in learning, it is time management. Now second skill which you possess or which you must have, that's the communication skills. Now just pay attention. If I remove this S, or if I use this S at the wrong place, look at this. The skill can be killing as well. And if I use this S at the proper place, it can be skill as well. Talk about each other, that is not a communication skill. But talking to each other, that is a communication skill. Most of the relationship problems in India between juniors and bosses, husband and wife, kids and parents, teacher and students, and other people, it is only because of talking about each other. Talk to each other and the problems will be solved automatically. It has been said that if you become a manager in future, remember my words, mark my words, always appreciate publicly and criticize personally. Just imagine that you, how many people are here? Total 57 participants and I'm 58 one. So let us assume that I'm a boss and my 57 employees are listening to me. Now we are in a team meeting, and this meeting is virtually organized and everyone is present across the nation. Now let us assume that Komal, who was answering me very well, Komal has made an error, and this is the meeting. The meeting is being organized, what has to be done in future, for the decision of what has to be done in future, means a way forward. But unfortunately, most of our time it goes what went wrong. It goes vested in fighting who is correct. It goes vested in fighting, but instead of that, we should fight for what is correct. Unfortunately, this is the way where we waste our time in a meeting. Now let us assume that Komal has made the error, and human psychology is always hungry for appreciation, quite natural. Who doesn't like appreciation? Everybody loves that. So if I say something wrong about Komal, Komal may get disappointed and Komal may think of changing the job or switching the job. People do not change the job, they change the bosses. Komal may switch a job because human psychology doesn't forget the insult happen in front of the four people. Four or more than that actually. Four is not the number, that is the, what you say, कहावत होती है, चार लोगों के सामने बुरा बोलना, चार लोग देखेंगे तो क्या कहेंगे, चार लोग सोचेंगे क्या कहेंगे. So that is the four people. So if I say something wrong in front of others, Komal may get dejected, she may be disheartened, and she may think of quitting the job. Now second scenario. Now there is another person, ABC, and this person has done marvelous job, and because of this company has saved most of the rupees, and because of his decisions, company is in profit. Now he is expecting me to appreciate him in front of the others, but what am I doing? I ask him to meet me after the meeting. I ask him to come to my cabin, and I appreciate him, and I say ऐसे ही करते रहो, company बहुत खुश है, आपके लिए अच्छा होगा. Believe me, this guy doesn't get any kind of motivation. So these are the areas जहां पे हम लोग communication में गड़बड़ करता है. We have to be careful that I should have scolded Komal individually. Instead of talking in front of others, I should have told her that Komal, this is the wrong way, you should be careful next time. Believe me, Komal will be careful next time, and Komal will not take it on heart. And here, this guy, if this guy would have been appreciated in front of public, this guy will put better than the best. This is all about the skills of leadership and management. So communication skills, it's all about how do you speak, not what do you speak. How do you speak? When do you speak? What is the tone of your speaking? What is the body language you use? Let me share a simple example. In Maharashtra, to appreciate someone or to appreciate something, we use this word kadak. This kadak, it doesn't mean a state of that, what do you say, उस चीज का state नहीं है. ये kadak, it means appreciating. This is number one, perfect one. Now let us say that a few years before, I mean to say few months before, 2 months before, we had Makar Sankranti in Maharashtra. Now my wife has made some delicious laddus for me, and in the evening I come home and my wife is asking me, ये लड्डू आप खाइए और मुझे बताइए कैसे हुए हैं. And she has asked me in Marathi. So I ate that laddu, and to appreciate that, मैं उसको बोल रहा हूँ, किती कडक आहेत, किती कडक आहेत. आता ही किती कडक आहेत, इसको हिंदी में मैं बताना चाहता हूं कि मैं उसको अप्रिशिएट करते हुए बता रहा हूं कि ये बहुत बढ़िया है. कोई भी परफॉर्मेंस को देखो, बॉलीवुड में भी इस्तेमाल करता है कड़क परफॉर्मेंस. कोई रियलिटी शो है उसमें भी बोलता है कड़क. दिस कड़क, इट मींस यहाँ पे परफॉर्मेंस बेटर है. सो आई एम अप्रिशिएटिंग हर, बट अनफॉर्चुनेटली शी इज टेकिंग दैट वर्ड इन अ नेगेटिव वे, एंड शी इज गेटिंग सैड. शी सेड दैट इतना मेहनत करके मैं बना रही हूँ और ये बंदा मुझे कह रहा है कि लड्डू कड़क हो चुके हैं. Laddus are not delicious. But I wanted to say that ye kadak, it means number one quality, best quality, delicious one, tasty one. Unfortunately, she is not talking to me. Now I say, okay, let's do one thing. Let's have a dose of a shopping, and I'm sure you will be back to normal position once again. Now she says, okay, let me get ready. Now it has been quite natural that when girl says that, let me get ready and I'll be ready in 2 minutes, it may take long time. And when boys says I'm on the way, I will reach in 2 minutes, it will take long time. This is quite natural. It's a universal rule. Always remember this. So I wait for her in the parking, and she comes with the beautiful dress, beautiful attire, and she is asking me, मैं कैसे लग रही हूँ. अभी हम हिंदी में जब बातें कर रहे हैं, मेरा जो शायर है हिंदी वाला जाग गया है, और मैं उसको अप्रिशिएट करना चाहता हूँ, और मुझे कहना है क्या बात है, आज तो बड़ी कातिल लग रही है आप. और मुझे कातिल नाम का जो वर्ड है यहाँ पे याद नहीं आ रहा है, और मैं उसको कातिल की जगह दूसरा सिनोनिम मैं इस्तेमाल कर रहा हूँ. मैं यहाँ पे बोल रहा हूँ क्या बात है, आज तो बड़ी हत्यारन लग रही हो आप. Now believe me, I made a first mistake calling the laddu kadak, and the second mistake calling her as a hatyaran, a murderer. She has to be called a katil, means a beautiful one, stunning beautiful, but I made a mistake calling her hatyaran. So that is my second mistake. So once again she is unhappy. Somehow I tried convincing her. I said shopping में तेरी favorite t-shirt हम buy करेंगे, चलो let's go. So she goes there and she buys a t-shirt, and after trial room she comes to me and asking कैसी लग रही हो. अब amazing लग रही है, बढ़िया है. Let us assume that t-shirt has some stripes of yellow and black like tiger. तो मुझे उसको कहना है कि आप शेरनी लग रही हो, बट वंस अगेन समटाइम्स हम लोगों को वर्ड्स में दिक्कतें होती है कम्युनिकेशन में। तो शेरनी का मैं समानार्थी शब्द या सिनोनिम मैं ढूंढ रहा हूँ और मुझे याद नहीं आ रहा है, और मैं कह रहा हूँ क्या बात है, आज तो बड़ी जानवर लग रही हो तुम। So these kind of words from my heart, those were the pure actually. It didn't mean to hurt anyone. But the thing is that the examples which I have used, these examples can be really troublesome. And believe me, do not try these examples at home. Be careful. Communication skills, it's all about using your own ideas. Communication skills is all about taking a good stance at a particular situation. Response very well, respond very well. Do not react. Let me share one example of communication skills. Communication skill, most of the people, they go for copy and paste. They go for copy and paste. I worked in corporate industry for a long time. Even people copy and paste the resume as well, and they call it as a CV. The actual meaning of CV is curriculum vitae. I call it control C and control V. Control C, it is your copy, and control V, it is your pasting. I have seen certain resumes of the youngsters who do not change the hobbies also. They copy the resumes of girls, and in hobbies they write knitting, cooking. Somehow it's okay nowadays. It is not specific for particular gender that only girls should know knitting. Even boys can know. But one hobby, that may be a coincidence. All the hobbies of girls, how is it possible? So it will definitely tell you that this resume has been copied by a resume of a girl. So control C, control V, it is different one, and CV is a different one. Do not have copy and paste. Copy paste in your job application later as well. Copy and paste, it is in your leave application later as well. Many people just go for copy and paste. And because of all this copy and paste, we are lacking somewhere in the concept of innovation. We are number 26 in the world in terms of ranking of innovation. Earlier we were 45 few years before. Nowadays we are 26, and you may check it on google.com. This may be somewhere 19 bis, maybe greater or maybe less than this as well. But last time when I read this, I found that in global innovation rank we are number 26 in the world. What is the reason? In communication we always go for copy and paste. We try to copy and paste the hairstyle of the modern actresses. We try to copy and paste of dialogues of some people. Somehow that's fine. For example, Pushpa, jhukega nahi. Latest examples I have seen, I have heard many people. There are so many memes of jhukega nahi. So many memes. And recent meme I have read that 2000 ka packet Pushpa ka gir jata hai. Pushpa jhukega nahi kehta hai. So there are so many examples. So copy and paste, somehow that's okay for entertainment, but for communication skill, copy and paste will not work. Let me give you a best example. There was one motivational trainer, and this motivational trainer had been invited for a motivational speech, and it was in USA. USA people, they were waiting for him. The hall was full. It was full house. The people were waiting for him. He arrived there, and people started clapping for him. He had received the standing ovation. He said that, okay guys, let me speak now, it's my turn. Let me have a word with you. Let me share the secrets of motivation. And there was a pin drop silence. People were listening to him. He said that I would like to start with the first secret of motivation. And the first secret is that the most beautiful moments of my life I have spent in the arms of a lady who is not my wife. Who is not my wife. Listening to this, audience were stunned. They started chatting to each other. Is he here to teach us motivation, or is he here to teach us something bad things? The noise was more. He said, okay guys, be careful, listen to me. That lady is my mother, she is the wife of my father. The audience understood the concept that most beautiful moments of my life I have spent in the arms of a lady that is not my wife, but that is my mother. Audience started clapping. The best backbenchers, the last benchers were some managers, and the managers said that let us write this joke. We will use this joke in our training, we'll use it in our meeting. And these people have written this joke. Training went well, people were happy, and after training session in the evening, some of the managers, they went for drink, because that is quite natural, that is the culture, that is a part of their culture. And they went for a drink. Unfortunately, one of the managers, he drank a lot, and somehow he reached home. कैसे तो भी घर पहुंचता है, and there was a doorbell, but that bell was not on the door, it was on the wall. So he was trying to push that, but due to impact of the alcoholic condition, he could not stand well, and he was pressing the bell continuously. His wife was quite nagging. She came there and she saw from the eye hole, she could not find that person, but the steel bell was ringing. So she became furious. She opened the door and she saw that her husband is pressing the bell button. and he was in a condition which was not some good. So she hold his collar in her hand and she asked him, where had you been? Kahan the aap? Where had you been? And after looking at her, he recollected the joke of the morning and he said that let me try this joke with her. And he said, the most beautiful moments of my life I spent in the arms of a lady that is not you. After listening to this, that lady was extremely angry, furious, and that lady started beating him. And she asked him, then who is she? After looking at that position of that stance of that lady, he forgot everything, the second part of joke as well. And in that mode, his brain went to panic mode. And he should have told her that this is the joke I heard in the morning. In the panic mode, he said that I don't recollect who is she. He has to say, I don't remember the joke's second part, but he said, I don't recollect who is she. And he had been regaining the consciousness in the hospital because of the small error of copying and pasting. So in communication skills, ensure that you do not copy and paste everything. Nowadays, all the teachers, they give you scores and the marks. They always check that is this your language, or this language has been copied and pasted somewhere from guides or some books. They expect you to write in your own words. That's an innovation. That's a new thing, and new things are always in huge demand. So ensure that in communication you should have proper innovation. Do not go for such kind of copy and paste, otherwise you will have to face the music like this guy has faced. So communication skills, there are so many examples. Written communication, it has to be polite. Written communication in email, notice, memo, whatever it may be, it has to be wrapped in three paragraphs. The first paragraph, salutation, namaste, ram ram, hi, hello. Second paragraph, what is the reason you are writing? And in the third paragraph, you have to write what do you expect from the reader. That's the communication. In speaking, most of the time in team meeting, in training, in teaching, you have to be a great presenter. That is also communication. News readers are also a communicator. If I'm a magician, I'm playing some acts or performing some activities, that is also communication. So communication, you deal with this every day. You have to ensure that your communication should not hurt anyone. Whatever you speak, it should be soft spoken. Whatever you speak, it should be simple, that even if you have to take it back, it should not be hurting you. So be careful in that. Apart from this communication skill, a person should have goal setting capacity, goal setting style or capacity. We have been taught that we have to have smart goal setting, specific, measurable, all these things. We have learned many things about that. Here I would like to tell only one thing about goal setting. It is quite simple. If imagine that we are in a classroom, we are sitting in a classroom, and this is my whiteboard, whatever it may be. Let us say this is my whiteboard. Now in my bag there are some things. There may be a book, there may be a laptop, and there may be a smiley ball. So what do I do? Let us assume that we are in a classroom. I'll give this smiley ball to someone and I'll ask him or her to stay away from the whiteboard or a blackboard. Keep a proper distance, increase the distance, and try to throw the ball exactly at the central point. Let us assume that this is the central point. Try to throw the ball exactly at the central point. Believe me, as the distance is more and ball is not with the heavy weight, probability of hitting this central point bullseye, it is low. But if I reduce the distance, if I ask that guy to be close to this board and try to hit it, believe me, even blindfolded, this guy will be able to hit this. As a child, in a drawing lecture, in a drawing training, my teacher told me one thing: जो चीजें दूर की होती है वो ड्राइंग में हमेशा छोटी छोटी आपको करनी है, जो चीजें पास की होती है वो आपको ड्राइंग में हमेशा बड़ी करनी है. I would like to relate that example. I was poor at drawing, but I remember that statement, and that statement has changed some perspective in my life. If I have distance from my goal will look small. Look at this, it will look like this. It will look like this, extremely small. I won't be able to hit this because it is far away. If I'm closer to my goal, I will be able to hit it because it will be quite visible, clearly visible to me. In a zoom, it will be visible to me. So I will be able to hit this. Same thing, your goal setting has to be done by your heart, and the action has to be done by your brain. Your goal setting has to be done by your heart. It may have your motivation that in 2 years I would like to have my own home. That may be motivation, or that may be requirement, whatever it may be, or that may be a social pressure as well. This has to be done by your heart, and the action has to be done by your brain. Only setting the goal will not help me to conquer that goal or complete that goal, because I'm saying that I should have a home. That is my dream, not the goal. But it is there with action, and these actions have to be done by my brain. What has to be done for this? I should have a good job, I should have good earning, I should get the good area to have a home, I should have support from my family members and everything. These are my plannings. So plannings have to be done by my brain. So goal setting simply says that your goal has to be near to your heart so that you can hit the bullseye exactly. You can hit it perfectly. But if your goal is far away from you, you will not be able to see this, and you will not be able to hit it like the smiley ball was not able to hit that goal properly. And have a goal which can be measurable. People say that I have to reduce the weight. That's a vague goal. Within how many months, how many kgs? That's a correct goal. When I say I have to reduce the weight, that may be a dream. But when I say in 2 months I have to reduce 2 kgs, that's a perfect goal. And to reduce that 2 kg, what is my diet has to be done? That is my action plan. And you have to follow this action plan, and it will help you to complete most of the things. Many youngsters nowadays, they are well versed with the modern technology. I recommend all you guys to be a great manager or great team player, whatever it may be. You should know first thing is that MS Excel. Not only MS Excel, you should know Google Sheets. You should know Google Sheets. Believe me, Google Sheets is one of the greatest innovation of Google. It can help you to translate the data from one language to other language as well. Simultaneously, many people can work together. And if you want me to conduct any training session of Google Sheets in future, we can think about that later on. But remember that these are the best way of data management. As a manager, you should know both of these things. Google has Google Slides. This is an alternative to PowerPoint presentation. This is the best one. Previous PPT we have seen on Google Slides. I didn't use PowerPoint presentation of MS Office. Apart from this, there is a Google Docs. And believe me, Google Docs will help you to have voice typing. No need to type. I'm a blogger, and in the evening, most of the time, I feel that I should not type. But I can speak continuously because training is my passion. So I will speak and it will type for me. Let's take an example. I'll show you how does it work. Let us take an example, not in deep, but I'll just show you how does it work. Here, I'll speak certain sentences and system will type for me. This voice typing will change your perspective towards your office work. Let me increase the zoom percentage first. Here, I will give certain commands of voice typing and I will speak in English, and later on I'll show you for Marathi and Hindi as well. Pay attention. Good evening, friends. Today we are learning about the Google utilities, and it can show that, or it can be seen that whatever I'm speaking here, it can be typed automatically. Only one drawback is that it doesn't understand the proper ways of communication skills. It doesn't use the what do you say, it doesn't use punctuation marks, full stop, question mark, comma, and other things. We have to do it manually. This was for English. If I have to do it for any other regional language, I can do that as well. I'll pause it for a minute and we'll convert it into Hindi. Okay, I just need to change the language, and here we have other languages as well. Look at this, there are so many languages. I will change it to, let us say, Marathi or Hindi, or we'll do it for Hindi because many people do not understand Marathi. We'll do it Hindi. Hindi. Now, whatever I'll speak, it will type in Hindi. But I have, for that I have to be able to speak in Hindi. देखते हैं चलो. नमस्ते दोस्तों, यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हो जो भी मैं यहाँ पे बोल रहा हूँ, मेरी स्पीड भी ज्यादा है बोलने की. बाय डिफॉल्ट जो भी मैं स्पीड रखूँ उसके हिसाब से यहाँ पे टाइप करेगा. सिर्फ यहाँ पे पंक्चुएशन मार्क्स मुझे मैन्युअली करने हैं. कुछ वर्ड्स मैं जानबूझ के अंग्रेजी के इस्तेमाल कर रहा हूँ, फिर भी आप देख सकते हो कि जो भी मैं टाइप करना चाहता हूँ सभी यहाँ पे बहुत ही बढ़िया तरीके से आ रहा है. ये सिर्फ हिंदी या इंग्लिश के नहीं होता, ये मराठी अलग लैंग्वेज में भी आप इसको कर सकते हैं. फिलहाल मैं रुकता हूं क्योंकि ये हमारा बहुत सारा समय खा जाएगा और हम वापस अपने एक्सेल फाइल पे आते हैं. Recently you have seen that this is the best way of learning. This Google Docs can change your perspective, and you can give the voice command, and this voice command can help you to complete your task within the stipulated time. So my recommendation is that first thing we have seen, you have to be great at time management. Second thing, you should be great at communication skills. You should have goals set, your goals, and you should think for the action, and you should think for the modern technology. And in this modern technology, I recommend you to know this. And apart from this, in Excel, there are certain formulas of if, we look up, if possible, try to learn all these things, and believe me, you will be one of the greatest managers and you will not need any support of anyone. you will be one of the greatest on this earth, because you know most of the technical things. Apart from this, you should have a concept called as team building or team player or teamwork. For teamwork, I recommend you to learn more things about honeybees, Mumbai Dabbewalas, Mumbai Dabbewala. Then Dahi Handi in Thane, Dahi Handi of Thane. Google it and you will know most of the things. Honeybees, Mumbai Dabbewalas, and the migrant birds. All these people are the best example of teamwork. Today we don't have a session of teamwork. Otherwise, we could have spoken about teamwork a lot. It is all about we and less about me. Believe me, it's a reflection of each other. When I'm in a team, I think about we, and when I'm individual, I think about me. In Marathi, there is one slogan: "Gav karil te Rao kai karil." Together we can achieve more. That's a full form of team. And alone we can travel somehow, but in together or in a team we travel a lot. Therefore, teamwork is the most essential part. I want you to think about teamwork. Then working under pressure, that should be your best quality. Pressure, this is just a organizational pressure, official pressure, forget about this. Do not take anything personally, and always remember that stress, it's a gap between expectations and the reality. Have the less amount of expectation, you will have less amount of stress. Always be motivated, and this will be a self motivation. It will be called as intrinsic motivation. Believe me, if I have to motivate horse to drink water, I can take it to the what do you say, to the river, but I won't be able to force that horse to drink the water. So motivation can be done by watching YouTube videos, reading certain books, but that is the extrinsic or external motivation. How you can be motivated intrinsic? For that, you need to change your self awareness, which we have seen earlier. Self awareness, in your brain there should be a command that when I'm aware that when I'm motivated I can perform better than the best, and one success can link to the other success. It will bring a chain of success. This is the motivation, and motivation is all about happiness. So being motivated can help you to achieve more things in the life. Apart from this, you should have a decision making skill. Most of the problems in India, or most of the failures in India, only because of the saying no too soon and saying yes too long, means after long time. Saying no too early and saying, what do you say, saying yes after long time. Most of the failures or the reasons of failures because of these things. Decision making is the crucial in the life. I have seen some people, they do not say yes, do not say no as well, and they do not decide, and they kill their dreams as well. So decision making at the right time, that makes a huge difference in your life. So ensure that you have to decide and you have to act upon that. A statement read about Ratan Tata sir, that he says that do not believe in taking right decisions. Take a decision and prove it right. Might be possible that you need a plan B. Plan A is failure. Be ready for plan B. Might be possible that it may be delayed, but do not leave your destination. You may change the path, but do not leave your destination. So there are these skills which are essential in the corporate life, which are known as the skills of the organization or skills of the life. And at the same time, ensure that nothing is personal. Nothing is personal in the official life. Your replacement can be done. You will be replaced if you leave the job, but your family will never get your replacement. So always ensure that nothing is personal. Do not be stressed at all, and always follow a simple funda in life: enjoy what you do and do what you enjoy. Your life, your job, your organization, everything will be happy, everyone will be happy. And believe me, you will achieve your goals, you will achieve your success, along with teamwork, decision making skill, technical knowledge. Apart from that, some basic things of communication, time management, stress management, motivation. These are the skills I want you to focus upon. And at the same time, believe me, your college will organize a session for these skills: time management, communication skills, all these things. But here you need to learn all these skills. Try to get the videos on YouTube, try to read the articles, try to read the blogs, and other things will be definitely helping you. And at the same time, one important part, which is the last one, I want you to focus upon, that is a financial planning. Every country has its budget, every corporation, city, state, they have their budgets. Why don't we have it? Financial planning, it is all about thinking for the future. First thing, after getting a job, you should take a term insurance. Do not rely on the mediclaim given by your organization. Always have your own mediclaim, and then you focus on investment in mutual funds, SIPs. This will help you to be happy person, and you will be able to provide everything which your family need because of these, all these three things. Focus on these three things and you will be known as the happiest personality in the world. Now time is almost up, therefore I will stop from my end, and I'll give you opportunity to ask me questions, and I want questions this time so that I can answer any question from you. Any question, boys and girls? We have almost 58 people. I want to have some questions from you. I tried my best to fit the content within the stipulated given time.